Hey, good afternoon. I'm Ken Brown. Welcome to Local Sports Wrap-Up. Today is May the 9th, and I had the privilege today to being here with Joel, J.A. Oz Jones.
That's right.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Man, it's been, I was looking at some of the episodes. I think the last time I was on was back in February sometime.
What?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. Yeah.
We miss Oz on the camera side.
Yeah.
On the camera side.
I miss being at the seat.
Man, this guy here, man, I love talking to Oz about any and everything. Definitely odds on things, but he's definitely helped me a lot this season. I've learned a lot about hockey, messing with Joe. We actually went to our first Red Wing game, me and my son, thanks to Mr. Atkins. And I've actually learned a little bit about Norris trophies and Calder Cups.
That's
and
right.
Other different things that we got going,
Yeah.
So I thank you, and I'm glad that you're here. Welcome home. Welcome
Thanks.
back.
Good to be back at the table.
Yeah, that's good. It's a big weekend, right? Wyandotte, we talked about it a little bit last week. There was a big rowing event last week.
Yep.
HEPCA.
The Hebda Cup.
The
Yeah.
HEPCA Cup. And then they were saying, this weekend it's coming again, but it's going to be better because it's going to be warmer outside, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the sports, they've been lucky to have some nice days, but there's been a lot of rainy and cold days as well. Hopefully we're past that now. But this past weekend they had the 50th WY-HY Regatta, and looks like 9 different cities take place in this. And it's an eclectic mix here. So you've got some of the locals like you'd expect, like Carlson, Groseal, Wyandotte, Riverview, Southgate, Trenton. But then you've got Crestwood, you have Perrysburg, Ohio,
Okay.
and then you have the curiously named Sandwich. Carolyn and I were actually discussing this yesterday of where they were from. I think she mentioned perhaps somewhere in Ontario even. So there may have been some Canadians in those American waters there over the weekend. But a lot of events, so we won't go through all the individual events, but the overall points on the women's category, 3rd place was Carlson, 2nd place was Roosevelt, and 1st place was our Buckeye friend, Perrysburg.
Okay.
And the men's side, Carlson was 3rd, so Carlson took 3rd in both men's and women's. Groseal was 2nd, and Wyandotte. Roosevelt took number 1 in the men's side.
Okay.
They
won last week.
They have done.
Yeah, okay. Back to back.
And now they do a combined champion too. They've got a point system here. 3rd place again, Carlson. 2nd place, Perrysburg, and 1st, Roosevelt again in the combined. So good, a good showing from Wyandotte and Carlson as well, and Perrysburg.
And I was rooting for the sandwich.
The sandwich,
just by the name, some type of sandwich. Perrysburg, though, great little getaway.
Yeah?
Yeah, Bellemere Suites.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
Bellemere Suites,
It's in
Perrysburg.
huh?
Yes.
Okay.
You won't see much of Perrysburg when you're at the Bellemere Suites because you got everything that's inclusive. It's a swimming deal, hotel room / honeymoon quarters, whatever it might be. It's beautiful there in Perrysburg. I love it there. So they came in 3rd?
They came in 2nd in the combined championship, and then 1st in the women's. Yeah.
And then, so last week, the furthest person came from West Virginia, and then just now Perrysburg, which isn't far. It's about an hour. It's not far, but it's a nice place. It's a nice getaway.
I imagine you're coming from West Virginia. You had to be very passionate about rowing, and maybe there's just not as many opportunities in their area, I'm sure. Because I've noticed with these tournaments over the years, and when I've been at the boat club, kind of looking at some of the pictures and stuff, that there are groups that they travel to be able to compete in these competitions.
And I think that it's cool with the tradition, right? So last week we talked about, I know it was over 50 years, and this is the 50th Wyandotte Regatta.
Yeah.
So people have been doing it for a long time. It's still going. And I think the other cool part about here is that they're actually continuing it. They got Friends Row for Fun, right? It's going to be at the Wyandotte Boat Club, Youth Rowing Camp. It'll be coming when school gets out. Good news is there's no experience necessary. It's open to all students that are entering the 6th through the 9th grade. So that's 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. They can come out. They have 3 sessions. It's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that first session actually starts the week school gets out. It's June 19th through the 30th. And then the last session will be July 31st through August 11th. So if you want to get your kid involved, you can look on wyn.boatclub.com, and it's also /youth learn to row. So get that next generation of rowers strong, right?
I think that would be a fun sport. It's one of those sports where I like being on the water, and it obviously keep you active, keep you in shape. The one thing for me that I don't know if I could deal with is they get up early.
Oh yeah, crack of dawn, baby.
Real early.
Crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I think me and you are on the same page as far as if we could start a little later. So that makes me think even with that 9 to 11 is kind of cool, but they probably had their practice in the morning and now they're letting the kids get to learn on the back end. The other thing I wouldn't mind in one of those rowboats is a fishing pole.
Well, I'm not much of a fisherman. And when I say not much of a fisherman, I mean, if I go fishing with my brother's a big fisherman and one of our buddies has a boat, once in a while they'll ask me to go. And I'm like, why do you want me to go? Like, I don't fish. I'm just going to make jokes. I'm going to make you angry because you're going to say I'm scaring the fish. And a couple years back, we were in Ludington, and they were going out in the water every day on Lake Michigan to fish. I was up there to go to the beach and have adventures, and I wasn't going to fish every day. My brother kept asking me, he's like, why don't you come out with us on the boat? And I said, what time you going? He goes, 6 a.m. on the water. I go, no thanks. 6 a.m. You're going to be on the water? I'm not going to be in bed, rolling over at that time.
Yeah, that's the other sport. I think everything that involves water and boats, it seems to start early. You probably want to get the bang for your buck. You see all the people pulling their boat out of the water later in the evening, but they've been in there all day.
Yeah.
So. No, man, I'm proud of Wyandotte for winning back-to-back weeks in the rowing. Hopefully they can keep that up. I heard they may have a new team.
A new team?
Yeah, it's a new game.
Oh, you're referring to Kendama.
Kendama.
Are you familiar with Kendama?
No.
So I had never heard of Kendama until maybe, I don't know, a little more than a decade ago.
Okay.
And I'd see kids outside of Glowfish Studios, and it's like this two-sided, I'll call it a cup, and they're just kind of flipping it. It kind of, to me, looks like some sort of advanced form of ball in the cup, but they had recently, they called it Dama in the D, and they did a competition at the DCA.
Okay.
And they like any other league, they crown a champion, and the kid got to perfect all these different tricks. So, yeah.
And then you get little points for them.
Yeah.
Now the cup itself, is it like a 6 ounce, 8 ounce?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the weight. Barb was actually talking to the owner of Glowfish Studios after the taping last week, and he was talking about like the regulations for the device itself. So it's just like, it almost looks like a judge's gavel. It's got a handle on it, and then it's got, kind of looks like 2 cups, and they're like the same shape, same size, and so you can play it either way. And then you flip the ball and you do various tricks. And,
It seems like a timing thing, like you get the rhythm of it type of deal.
Yeah, and so actually I believe Carolyn has a clip or 2.
Okay, I see him.
Isaac does.
He's the winner.
Oh my God. All right, 3 to 4.
He sweated too. Okay.
Yeah, I got a point.
I'll remind you, Isaac also
Card will say who go first, right? What trick you gotta do.
We're going to give you your prizes as quickly as we can. We might.
Yeah, so you notice, I don't know a ton of the history of the game, but you notice in the background that banner had the red circle in the middle and white background. The game has its roots in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, man, it looks fun. Do you have an idea where they were filming at when they did that?
Oh, that was at the DCA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so it's local.
I guess it's a national game that people play. That happened to be a local tournament, yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
No, hey, I'm for competition, man. Pitching quarters, throwing baseballs, whatever it is.
Anything,
We'll
yeah.
compete at it the best that we can, you know?
When you were a kid, were you a poor sport if you lost? Did your parents have to often say to you, it's only a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little, though, right? I mean, you get to an age where you understand that somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, you know, but you always want to put your best foot forward. And I wasn't a great loser.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time right now disciplining my son about not being a great loser because I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
But it's a fine line. As you grow up, you know you want to make it, you know, like everybody, we had fun, we got better. You know, if there's some other way that you can say it, like you're better than you used to be, you know, something. But yeah, I was kind of poor sport. What about you?
Yeah, I think if you were to ask my mom, she would say I got a little too wrapped up in games and in sports. Yeah, when I was a kid, and honestly, into a fair amount of my adulthood, I hated to lose. Now I don't. I don't care as much. I guess depending on what it is.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily allow like if I play video games with Lincoln, I won't let him beat me.
No?
I will put handicaps on myself as far as like what controls I can use to make it more competitive. But yeah, I won't just let him beat me because I feel like it's a cheat, you know, like for him. Like I want him to improve, and he's not going to improve if I'm just letting him win things. Yeah. I mean, I don't, you know, I don't try and demoralize him, but
Right. But do you look at, like, is he a good loser?
no. It is so it's and I expected that. It's in his genes. We'll play tic-tac-toe on his tablet. He loves to play it, but after so many games of tic-tac-toe, like we'll play, you got to get 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row. There's only so many combinations. So what I'll do is I try and use it all as a teaching moment to teach him strategy. So I'll say, like, well, son, like, you don't want to go there. I'm like, if you put it there, I'm going to win in 2 moves. But he wants to do what he wants to do, so he'll put it there. I'm like, all right, boom, boom, and he started to see the patterns. He started to get it. So it's fun to watch him improve because, you know, I mean, a game like tic-tac-toe, it's not enjoyable for me to just beat my 8-year-old over and over and over. I'm hoping he's learning something, you know, as he's piling up these losses. And he's gotten a lot better. He beats me on occasion. So
Who does he get to play where he wins? Who does he get a chance to? Does he play against his cousins, his mom? Does he play against somebody else where he gets to win?
probably.
Okay.
'Cause he seems to love tic-tac-toe.
I got you.
Whenever he's got his tablet, he's asking somebody, like, you want to play me? You want to play me?
Yeah. I think I've been guilty of letting my son win. I hope you're watching the show too. But I think it was more of a confidence piece.
Sure.
I'm thinking that I'm giving him more confidence by letting him,
Yeah.
you know, I'll keep it close as I can.
Yep.
And then it depends. If he starts talking trash, then I'm like, okay,
Yep.
this can always happen to you.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But then just consoling him. You know, and I don't know. I guess because I was a poor sport, I don't know exactly how to change it. You know, so I want him to know what losing is, and then correct that behavior.
And it's because like without suffering adversity, without suffering loss in sports, you can't. It makes winning that much sweeter when you have to overcome a challenge. And I've done the same thing with Lincoln. You know, we play. It's an old hockey game. It's an arcade-style hockey game on GameCube called NHL Hits. He loves it, and we would play, and we'd playfully go back and forth like smack talking. But then he starts to get a bit of an attitude. Like if I'm taking it a bit easy, and he'll start running his mouth, and I'll just look at him and I'll go, okay.
It's time.
And now you have to learn a lesson. Yep. Yep.
No. and transitioning into baseball, that was probably the place where I showed the least sportsmanship at times. And I'm talking about you're pitching and somebody misses a ball and you're like, kind of showing them up a little bit, and that's not good.
You're talking missing an easy catch?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were a pitcher?
Yeah. But if your center fielder's missing them and your shortstop's missing them, you're but they feed off of you. What I learned in the interim is that they're feeding off you. You're the leader. So if you could keep them up, then you'll be better at it, And the WY-HY baseball team has actually been doing really well, and it's been good to see that over the time. Since today's the 9th, so the last time that we were here, we'll go to May 3rd, WY-HY actually beat Trenton 6-4. And we talked about Trenton had a really good team. In that game, though, Emilio Sanchez had a game-winning hit, and it wasn't to end the game, but it was in the 6th inning. He knocked in 2 runs. They ended up in the winning 2 runs. They took the lead 6-4, and then they just shut it down the rest of the way. Keegan Rose won that game on the mound. So WY-HY won that game, and then after that, they actually, it was a doubleheader against Bishop Foley. We don't have the results. Also in that Trenton game, a kid named Manny Gutierrez hit a home run. So the Bears have been really hot in baseball. Some of the other scores that took place last week, Woodhaven and Southgate played. These were all postponed because of the rain. Same thing you're talking about. It's a tough spring, man. All those games were rained out. But Allen Park beat Taylor 11-0. Edsel Ford beat Lincoln Park in 5 innings, 16-3. Carlson and Southgate, they got canceled, and then Wyandotte beat them. Trenton came back and beat Carlson 7-1 a couple days later. That was the only game on the docket. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Did you do something fun? Friday.
That was Friday. Well, I was here, so not a lot.
Not a lot. All right, well, Cinco de Mayo. Looked like Allen Park had fun for you. They beat Woodhaven 7-4. E-Course played Carlson. We didn't get that score yet. And Taylor whooped on Grosse Hills 14-7. So it was some good games. And then, as Frank would say, those doubleheaders on the weekend. We had a lot of action with Berkeley and Trenton, Dearborn Heights, Annapolis and Edsel Ford all played in the tournament. We don't have the results from that. And Riverview, Gabriel Richard, and Divine Child. They played on Saturday as well. And this isn't on the thing, but yesterday I actually got a chance to see Riverview and Divine Child play tennis over at, it's got to be Pulaski. You know what I mean? Pulaski Park. And it was a good game. It was girls. They got down. And they tied 4-4. I stayed as long as it would go, and there was no winning game. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's tied. Yeah. And I gave both the coaches a high five, and, told them about the show. Yeah. So if you're watching, now you can email us the next scores at Local Sports Wrap Up, and we'd love to get that, Coach. So that was just a little bit. What about softball? Do we have anything from the softball?
Yeah, I think we had some softball scores as well.
Yeah. I'm sharing this with you. I won't hog all of these highlights from you. Trenton beat Carlson on May the 4th. Be with you.
That's right.
Right. Trenton 3, Carlson 2. That went 10 innings. Edsel Ford beat up on Annapolis 6-5. Then Flat Rock beat Carlson 12-2. Probably my favorite team to talk about, Downriver girls softball, Allen Park, 18-3. A shellac South Lyon East. South Lyon's grown so much now they got an East and a West high school. It's amazing.
That's a lot of farm country out there, isn't there?
It used to be, but I
Yeah.
think they got a lot of subdivisions now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. And then it has Pioneer playing Wyandotte, Dexter playing Wyandotte. That was on that Saturday. We don't have those scores. Southgate 14, Dearborn 7. And then Wyandotte played Farmington the next day at 10:30. The Lady Bears haven't been doing as great as the boys, but they did beat Lincoln Park last week, so they're getting some, kicks and scratches in. So hopefully they'll come to the cream rise to the top towards the end of the season.
Now, didn't you tell me once? I know one or more of your girls played softball, right?
Every girl plays.
okay.
So that's a rule.
Now, I remember you told me once it was either you wouldn't or you were afraid to step in the batter's box if one of them were pitching?
As I got older,
Yeah.
it seemed like my daughter Kayla, who's a pitcher, she threw a lot harder. So when I warmed her up all those years, it was cool. But then you get 48, 49, 50 years old, that ball seems to be coming a lot quicker than it used to.
Yeah, the reaction time is not quite there.
Yeah. Hey, step back a little bit.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Like I've never been in the batter's box, to have any other than like slow pitch. So, I mean, I played Little League, and I can still remember you got in the batter's box against a kid that could really throw it. It was intimidating. I think the entire time I played Little League, I only got hit once.
Okay.
That's because I didn't want to get hit. My brother was a big kid. My brother got pegged all the time. But yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I think that more of my reason for not wanting to get in against her was I don't have anything to win. If I get a hit, I was supposed to because I taught her everything she knows,
Right.
and if I didn't, I can't hit her.
You're getting whiffed by him.
Yeah, my daughter.
Right.
So I didn't feel like I had anything.
And now, to be fair, your daughter went on to play collegiately, right?
Correct.
So okay.
Nah, she's a pretty good pitcher, and she throws it pretty, probably when she stopped playing, she probably 60, 60 miles an hour, something like that. But my 14-year-old Carrington, she's playing now, and she's pitching a little bit, and I can still catch her without too much, you know. But, there's different drills that you would do where that ball, you're throwing it from here to that camera, which is about 6 feet, you know. Back up. I don't care. I don't love this drill.
And they're going full speed?
No, well, they're whipping it, though. It's still coming hard.
Yeah.
It's more about seeing that ball,
Right.
and I don't have my glasses on. So, but you're right. Yeah, it's a different game, man. It's a different game. And that girl from Allen Park brings it. Sizemore, she brings it. If I'm saying that Kayla was throwing at 60, she had a lot of junk. But Sizemore's throwing it probably 63, 64, 60, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is equivalent to 99 if they've done the numbers where the pitching mound 60 feet 6 inches compared to the 45 feet in softball. If you could throw it 63 miles an hour, it's equivalent to 99. You know what I mean? So you're breaking
that's
thing.
heat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a short, reaction time is like that.
Yeah.
But I love it. You've had an opportunity to see Lincoln playing some football.
Yeah.
Football.
That's right.
Sorry.
The European football. Yeah. I've been wanting to get him into something. Last spring we tried martial arts, and he just did not have really the attention span. Something like that requires a lot of focus, a lot of discipline, and my kid just doesn't have that. So thought, well, we'll try soccer. He was interested in soccer, and he got interested in soccer of his own accord. I don't typically watch soccer. Now, when the World Cup was on, I took a gander at some lines.
Yeah.
But typically, I watch a lot of hockey, a lot of football. So he started talking about soccer. So I bought him some soccer cards and got him signed up. So he's playing through the AYSO. I think it stands for American Youth Soccer Organization. And he's played 3 games so far. And I was really happy with he not only does he seem to be having fun and bonding with his teammates, taken to the game pretty well too. At that age, he's in a league with 8 and 9-year-olds. They kind of try him all out of different positions.
Sure.
So, but on defense, I've been pretty impressed. He's not doing anything fancy, but Forward comes in, he kicks the ball to the sideline. He's doing all right there. And then this past it was Sunday. Yeah, they played Saturday and Sunday. He got his first goal.
All right.
Yeah, and he's listening to me. So the coaches ask, of course, parents not to coach from the sidelines, which I can completely understand. I remember my own dad when I was in Little League. Oh my God, he'd give it to the refs, and it was always embarrassing. So, but afterward, I always talked about what I saw, and at that age, a lot of the kids they bunch up, 6, 7 kids kicking out a ball like in a firing squad.
Sure.
And I was like, son, when you're on the offense and that happens, I'm like, get away from it. I'm like, go find that open area. And that's exactly what he did. And he chipped in a goal at the end of the game. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really proud of him.
Oh, man, I know he felt great. That's it. I've never scored a soccer goal, but I definitely would think that would be it. I mean, did he do the whole, I don't know what kids are doing now?
No, you know what? It was really cute because he actually turned around with his hands over his face like, I did it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, man, celebrate them. Sports is a good way, especially when they're played locally, to get kids to know and make friends, do social things, also exercise. And I don't know, without them, I don't know what I would have done. I didn't love school. Sports made me want to go to school, be eligible and different stuff like that. So I give it out to sports. And local sports here in Wyandotte are doing really well. My son's playing baseball for the Red Sox, which is the local little league around here, and we're practicing on Mondays and Saturday. And the coach is great, and all the kids are having fun. And I think that's exactly what it's about, So, hey, get your kids signed up. Go down to Yak Arena, see what is being offered this summer. The one thing that we do know that's being offered is for youth 6th to 9th grade is Row Club, where kids get a chance to get out on the water. Like Odd said, they got soccer going, they got baseball going, they got softball going. So get your kids involved. School year's wrapping up here in the next month or so. You want to make sure those kids have something to do. So they're not going, to people's back window or something. You want to make sure that they have something to do, something structured to do.
That's right.
But it's been great. It's good having you back, Odds. And we'll check the people out next week.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.